Welcome back. With the trial of the suspected Pittsburgh synagogue shooter underway, trauma is resurfacing for the Jewish community here. Joining me now is Natalie Bencivenga to discuss two organizations who are helping people heal. Thanks for coming in and talking about this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I know that there's been a lot of talk about how this process would go because it's been years.
Yes, 4 years.
So while there's been some healing that's taken place, a lot of this can resurface as the trial is getting underway.
Absolutely. And part of this segment that I wanted to do, this sort of, let's get inspired, let's do something. Sometimes that's easier to figure out what to do. And when you're dealing with something like another mass shooting, which I think we're all just so tired of having to hear and relive and just that trauma alone, it's important that we're able to direct that energy somewhere. And so there's this great organization called the 1027 Healing Partnership. And it's a program now outside at the JCC. And what they're doing is they're really focusing on healing with the families that have gone through the trauma of what happened at the Tree of Life, and also the people that were impacted as well, their family members, their friends, etc. And so they have this campaign going, and you can see that we're both wearing the ribbons.
The blue ribbons.
Yes, yeah. And these are just to show a sign of solidarity.
And so what is their mission through all of this? Obviously to provide some support, but how can people get involved?
Yeah, what I love about what they're doing, I was on their website just the other day checking it out, and not only are they providing in particular supports, like I said, for the families of the victims, but also they're having sewing circles and drum circles, and they're doing yoga classes, so things that all of our community members can get activated and get involved with, because as we know, anti-Semitism, anti-racism efforts, things that focus on reducing gender violence and xenophobia. These are things that impact all of us, and so when one of us is hurting, all of us is hurting. And so you can get your ribbons at the JCC, and you can also make your own and tie them, to your front door or to a tree in your yard, or wear them or put them on your briefcase during this trial, so we can just show solidarity with this community.
And support through it all.
Yes.
And you mentioned the JCC. I know that they have a lot of support and community efforts, community services too, to provide.
Yeah, and there's another wonderful organization that I wanted to highlight as well that we're going to be talking about in the coming weeks here in the city, and it's called the Jewish Family and Community Services Space, and that is also in the Squirrel Hair area. And they're focused on a new program, which I'm very excited about, called Upstreet PGH.
What is this?
Well, I love this, Heather, because as you know, you have kids, and I have a stepson, and as they age, it can be more and more challenging to get them to talk.
Right, absolutely.
And to open up.
Right.
And so many of them are dealing with compounded trauma, whether they're going through, active shooter trainings at school, or bullying, or just dealing with depression and anxiety. There are a lot of issues that they're bombarded with on social media. The climate crisis is in their face as well. And a lot of them are dealing with very intense emotions. And maybe it's not so easy to just, get kids to go to a therapist, but what they can do is jump on this website and hit the chat button, and a therapist pops right up to talk to them in real time. And this is a free service for adolescents up to the age of 22, which is major, because as we're grappling with not having health care for all, we need mental health supports for all of our kids, and this is a great way to do it.
Well, and we have discussed too on the other side of this that there just may not be enough therapists to support everybody who needs a session or to really kind of unload and have somebody to talk to.
Wonderful, yeah, and it's so true, and it's sort of no wonder why we have all of these issues, right? Because we see all of these intersections and we recognize the intensity of all of them. So for a therapist to be able to be on call, so to speak, but not in a way that's going to put pressure on themselves or the child is really amazing. So it's sort of like on-demand therapy when you need it, which as a former therapist, I love that.
Yeah, it's much needed. Thank you so much, Natalie. Whenever you come on, even when we're talking about the hard stuff, there's always this inspiration, this way to give back. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to have links to all of this too on our website, and that's on kdka.com/talkpittsburgh. We'll be right back.